Research Society of India, who will be co-sponsoring through the Scientific Research Association. I would like to be welcome and say thanks to Professor Yuri Lupenko, Dr. Chirag Patel, Dr. Maxim Krupewako, and Professor Drosko Marcanino to provide me the opportunity to discuss about the economical effect. Like as it is being mentioned in one of the introduction before the few minutes ago, it was being said that the contemporary changes or the technological changes happening is going to be make the social impact for that. And I try to be choose the topic of the digital economy for developing countries with a specific intention that developing countries who are normally being a second user of the technology developed by the developed countries. So there is one of the major thing is being happen that how the digital economy is going to be happen. So digital economy is basically an economy focuses on the digital technologies. So it is basically the combinations of the digital and computing technology. When it is coming to the digital and computing technology is primarily include the interconnectivity between the different geographical areas. Digital economy is covers the on business, economic, social and cultural activity etc. that are supported by web and other digital communication technology. It unites almost every aspect of life. When we try to be talk about the social and cultural level, we have the good exposure about the impact given by the Facebook, Instagram, and such a platform have made the social and cultural knowledge spread across the one place of the globe to the another place and resulted into the global villages are coming into the existence. The term was first coined. So people are saying that the digital economy is a verge of the 21st century, but it is not so. When the term was first coined in the book of the digital economy, Tommy Champagne in the age of the network intelligence, which was being authored by Don Tapscott in the 1995. So we can say that when all developing countries have started to get the computing system entered into the economy in the 1980s time, so the digital economy having started. Mainly when we try to be look towards the digital economy and if we have to look for the socio-economical and political concern level. The digital economy can be broadly classified under the three categories. Number one, e-business, where there is a business to business relationships are going to be established. That's one of the very important thing. B2B. There is a need to happen to have the e-business infrastructure is to be developed. Like if we see here in our slide, we have the online store and then in a third step, we have the product and offer side there. So in this particular case, the digitally and physically integrated infrastructure needs to be developed which support the e-business and e-commerce is basically coming with respect to B2C. We can say it's coming to B2C, that is business to direct the consumer. Like as a consumer, we are going to the Amazon, we are trying to buy the necessary books, we are buying the necessary gadgets, electronic gadgets, etc. are being covered under the e-commerce category. And there is a wide range of the activities are being undertaken by the same. So whenever there is a e-commerce is coming, because ultimately when we look at it, there is a agriculture which is the base for any economy. Whether it is a country like India which is being known as an agriculture country, it is not so. When the countries are industrialist country also, there is a need is happen to have the agriculture, foods, commodities are being available with you and which can be used by society at large. Nowadays what's happened, the brand names are getting the one of the very important status quo for the society at large. People have been looking towards the brand creation. So consumer influences are being happened by the brand. Today when we talk about the young generation, they are going towards the social media like a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They get some of the products are being used or someone is talking about a particular brand in a better way or bad way, their decisions are being changed. There are also the popular websites are there like a YouTube, MOOCs, etc. YouTube, we are aware that it is a DIY, do it yourself type of the some videos are being available, which is making the global citizen at large to understand that what are the new type of the development can be done, how can you use the certain wastages to convert into the usable life. MOOCs is basically the one of the very important platform. Is coming with respect to the educational activities, research related activities, where people are having the knowledge dissemination being happen. Knowledge dissemination have been happen among the society at large. Second thing, the people does not need to physically go to the particular school, college or universities and to attend it. So it integrated in our every aspect of our life. Like healthcare also, we look towards that which particular medicines are being having a particular type of side effects are there or not, which is a better hospital for a particular disease. Then education also we do it. Banking, we all are aware that the banking and those industries have been come under the ban level. The entertainment industries is also being making the influences on the consumer preferences. So when we say what is digital economy, so let me bifurcate the digital economy, which is basically the knowledge-based future. So it's supporting us, supporting the developing countries to have the knowledge-based future. Initiative is being happened that there should be participative, transparent, and responsive government. This is what beginning said. But today, never when we try to be say that the initiative of using the technology to create the participative level and responsive government and transparent and responsive level is not only under the banner of the government, the non-government organizations, NPO, like a Research Culture Society of India, then Ukraine universities, are trying to be joined and make a participative discussion and bringing some new parameters for that. So we can bifurcate the digital economy under the 3 pillar in the beginning. Later on we will be converted them into the application side 9 pillar. So digital infrastructure as a core utility, we have to get it as every citizen. So we can say that the digital infrastructure should have been available. High-speed internet connectivity is being required. Bankers should have the capacity to enter into the digital parameters, protect the venue of the society, venue of the customer set large, and having a safe and private space on a public cloud, and creating a safe and secure cyberspace, which is somewhere the challenges are being regularly coming and going to become, they don't point out it. Governance and the services on demand. The digital economy is also being expecting that there is a good way the governance and services are to be done. So seamless integration is to be done across the different departments or jurisdictions. Majority of the developing countries are nowadays going towards the my government type of things. And they are trying to be said that there is one particular omnibus website having created by the government. Any citizen can go put up the necessary information then those information goes to the different government ministries, effective government ministries, and they are trying to be solve the problem. And where the government is giving the guarantee that everything is going to be done in the proper way. So it's leveraging the geographical information system, no need to go from one place to another place physically. Now, at this moment, I'm in the city of Ahmedabad, Chirag is in the city of Baroda, some people are in the cities of the UK. But we all are being on the common platform at this moment. So this is providing us the digital empowerment. And we have to make sure that whatever the digital resources we provide should be capable enough to provide the information in the vernacular language also. So there is no need that everything should be in the English language. It should go to the vernacular language. So once it is everything being done on a digital economy, so it providing the digital resources in vernacular language, citizens not required to submit the paper document. Now, first I say that I'm going to be talking about the three pillars, and then I'm going to be talking about the 9 pillars of the digital economy. So when I say that there are the 9 pillars of the digital economy is to be happen. So those 9 ones start with the Broadway highways. So we have to make sure that the broadband linkages are being available for all, whether the person in the rural area or in the urban area or some highly remote, hidden place or any place they should do it. So here I try to be mentioned that the Broadway highways, national information infrastructure is needs to be done. So whenever there is a national information infrastructure is to be done, so it gives the need of to rise to the cloud infrastructure. Then I say that there is a need for us to have the universal access to phone. So if you try to see on the photograph, you are getting the 3 type of the phones are being available, which is the A-zone, dial phone. Then there is a phones are being available, that is the switch phones, okay. And then there is a today's electronic based send phone, or you can say the handsets are being available. So these 3 concerns needs to be combined together. Whenever we are looking to the developing countries, some of the developing countries in some of the area of the rural people may still going with the dial-up telephone instrument. Someone may be going towards a key-based instrument, but there the particular government have to make sure that information flow and digital economy can be supported by everyone by using certain technological enhancement and technological development. So public, and that is basically known as the Public Internet Access Program, where common service centers have been provided, like number of places. If we have to be talking the India also government is being saying that post offices are going to be provide a common service center to have the internet access in the rural area. Because in India we have the 150,000 post offices are there. So government is planning to use those infrastructure in the public internet access program. So multiple service centers are going to become into existence. Then there is another one is coming is known as e-governance. E-governance is to be combined with e-county. E-county means electronic invention. Implementing the electronic invention in your day-to-day activities. So whenever we are saying that the electronic inventions are to be done, then the data security is going to be quite important. So there is a governance and analytics of the information needs to be held close hand with each other. So e-governance is going to be support the government and it's bring the transparency among the society. Citizens, that what is to be done. E-Kranti, it means that e-invention, utilizing the electronic in the different way. And every phase-wise activity we are going to be covered under that. Like e-education, electronic education, e-healthcare, technology for farmer. When we try to be talk about the agriculture, economics and so, the technology for farmers are very important to know that what price they are going to be get for their particular crop. So what should be the minimum price they should get? What are the running price in the market? So that technology for farmers are going to be make the farmers to sure that they are getting the reasonable prevailing prices in the market structure. Resulted into them be motivated for the agricultural production. Now farmers are also being involved in the so many other activities. So they have to make sure that all animals feeds available to them are being at a reasonable price being available and so. The e-Kranti, that is a responsibility somehow, some extent coming to the government organization and the high corporates to provide the technology for security and technology for cyber security. Two things are very important. When we say the technology for the security, it means that whenever we are going to be use CCTV cameras, type of the things in our offices so that we can watch the movement, so that we can watch any type of the threat that comes to the technology for security. When we say the technology for cyber security, means no party can come and attack on the cloud-based information, private information available of the any player or the citizens of the market. When we say the technology for the financial inclusions, where there are going to be the linkages are going to be happen between the direct tax revenue and the indirect tax revenue of the individual person. They are going to be the financial inclusion have been done in such a way that every buyer is going to be buy the commodity, then whatever input tax they pay, they get the credit of the same. So what happened? That buyer is going to be asked for the purchase bill to prove that what is the amount he has to claim from the another taxes to be paid, so the next tax to be paid. So this is going to be resulted into this financial inclusion resulted into all financial sectors are going to be closely monitored, including the government authorities, so that there is going to be the removal of the black money is going to be possible. Technology for the justice is to be done. Like at this moment, Government of India is also being planning to say that we are going to be have the e-technology being available for like the e-justice, e-court, e-appeal, and those type of the things are coming where the technologies are going to be used. So on developing countries have to make sure that in today's scenario and coming up scenario, the paperless offices, maybe including of the government offices, should have been paperless, and it should be somewhere protecting the environment too. Next one is coming that there should be the information should be available for on paper. So there is a open data platform. Like when we try to be talk as an academician, the research get academia, PubNote, everything is a open data form. Elsewhere, Scopus, you can have the chance to go to the open data form, you can go to the open journal, and you can have the idea about the literature study parts done. There should be the engagement to be done through the social media. So social media like a Facebook and those, are going to be passed on the certain information. WhatsApp is going to be passed on the information. Telegram is going to be passed on the informations. So social media is going to be bring the informations available from one corner to the another corner. My government, so government is going to be should create one of the portal like a my government, where individual person can put up their voice, their any type of the non-acceptable parameters, their complaint, they can put it. And then respective authorities will transfer it to the different department to solve it. This is going to be resulted into the within the certain time individual person will get the job, get the answer for his query, and he don't have to move here to there for the at a physical places. Online messages are being done. That is what we have been using the emails and SMS, etc. And then to bring. Today when we say that there are people are being work from home, is one of the parameters have been started because of the COVID-19. Or when we try to go to the government offices, there the officers are being present. So both place somewhere, the developing countries have to make biometric attendance system. So it gives the clarity that person is working from the home and he is being dedicated for the respective work. And he does not make it. Another thing we have been talking specifically, that there should be the fairness design and production is to be done. When we say the fairness designing and production means outsourcing the basic input need of firm instead of own manufacturing. Means if a company is making their own electronic chip, so instead of making our own electronic chip and then to assemble in a particular gadget, they outsource the work to the third party. And that's basically coming to the fairness design and production system. The way production is given, the way, same way the designing can also be given. Here it was being said that one person is using the tab, one person is using the PC, one person is using the mobile cell phone, and on different type of the social media availability, make it the my government working done proper way. So there are going to be the different type of the IT information technology jobs are going to be available in coming culture. And that is why there is a need is being happen that the developing countries should come out from the traditional way of commerce study, science study, art study. There should be the choice-based system should be introduced. So that person have the good knowledge about physics, but he's not good in chemistry and some other area. So he cannot choose the science because one subject he is not well. Then he can make the combinations in such a way that he can become entrepreneur also. Because he has the knowledge of, required knowledge of the technical side, required knowledge of the commercial side, required knowledge of the government taxation side and law. So that is a choice-based system needs to be developed by the developing country, and it is quite possible in the today's parameters. Early harvest program means before the things are coming to the big level or coming to give you the some negative action, you should go for the preliminary level, earliest level development of the same. Additionally, there is a need is being happening of the pay government. As we know that people are nowadays saying now what we should do. So there is a unified payment interfaces are being used. So all government services are accessible to citizens through common service delivery outlets. Common service delivery outlets. It ensures the efficiency. transparency and reliability of such service at affordable cost. As we know, whenever we give some order to the Amazon or so, we are getting the tracking number and it continuously gives us the information. The same thing is happened by the pay government. When you pay some taxes to the government or some subsidies amount or benefits you are supposed to be receiving, it should be come through the unified payment interface system. So it is basically the one type of the online system, and using the net banking, debit card, credit card, cash card, mobile money, NEFT and everything. So here it was being showing that there is a mobile is there and there is a, it being having a currencies are being available. In the pay government now, so some of the countries are being at this moment looking toward the should we have accept the crypto or not. Cryptocurrency regulations. Should we accept it or not? It's something different story going on at this moment. But it's going to be the part of the pay government in the coming period. Next, the government should make sure that every citizen's record with respect to his ethical behavior or criminal records, his unnecessary important documents should have been available in DigiLocker, so that citizens when move within the country or outside the country, go for any remote place and he can have the capacity to provide his genuineness, his citizenship, etc. So help citizens to digitally store the important documents, and that's a digital locker. And normally we are talking it as a DigiLocker. Help citizens to digitally store their important documents like social security card, passport, mark sheets, and degree certificates. Provide secure access to the government issued document. It means that there are going to be the licenses are there. Like such type of government issued, that is driving license also, being secure access being available. Any minister use of the physical documents enables the sharing of the verified electronic document across the government agency. So the one agency can have the access to your DigiLocker, but they don't have the capacity to edit something, remove something. Such type of the parameters should be secured by the 9 pillars of the digital economy. That no people can view it, but people cannot edit it, people cannot delete it. So a dedicated personal storage space in the cloud to citizens, and that cloud number should be secured with a citizen's secure social security number. Reduce the administrative overheads of government. So naturally, when there is no need of a paper documents, there is no need that the individual people or the individual citizens are going to become to the offices of the government. Resulted into the paperwork is going to be quite less. Number two, the administrative overhead, staff requirement to do the physical activities are going to be reduced. So it issues the services, citizens are issued the services by saving time and effort. As the documents will now be available anytime, anywhere, and which can be stored electronically by them. Then specifically, I come to the point of the India. This is what generally people are doing. The ETA is basically the electronic transaction aggregation and analysis layer. It is the web portal have been developed by the government of India specifically for dissemination of e-transaction statistics. Means how many e-transaction statistics have been happened over the period at a national level or state level for each and every government projects being come into existence. How the people are being working on that, That is a mission mode. Every mission has been established by Government of India, and they do it. So it receives the transaction statistics from web-based applications periodically. Like when the Government of India at this moment says that 100 crore vaccination have been done for COVID-19, it's basically happened because Government of India have introduced the ETAN, that is the electronic transaction aggregation and analysis near, where all statistics are being available through the social security number and near real-time basis data being available. So it's provided a quick analysis of transaction counts in tabular form and also the geographical form. So at every district-wise, every city-wise, how many COVID vaccinations have been done, who have been necking, who have been doing a better way, such type of the e-governance projects are being available. So it promotes the handy competitions about the state and union territories, departments, and for each and every government initiative it is being done. So Government of India have also introduced for that one of the parameters of National Digital Literacy Mission. So some of the developing countries can take this view and they can understand the scholarly processes done by India very categorically, where making the one person in every family digitally native. This is what the government is thinking to bring it. So there the 2 levels of trainings are being provided by the Government of India. Appreciation of digital literacy, citizens will be trained to operate digital devices like mobile phone, tablet, send and receive the emails, etc. Then there are going to be the basics of digital literacy will be provided, so that they can effectively access to the all e-governance services. So it's the ability of the individual and communities to understand and use the digital technologies for meaningful action. The benefits of the digital economy, I'm speedily moving it as the time going away. It is going to be support to remove the black money. In turn, it's going to be increase the government revenue, because I already mentioned that there is a input tax credit will be available, so that there is a chances of the black money reduce, so that government revenue will increase. It's empower the people to work by sitting at home. E-governance will support it. It's also create the new jobs. Ample of the jobs can be available. Like person can outsource their activities, like what I said already, the fabless activities can be started, and people can, develop countries can provide the jobs to the developing countries as work from home. Digital verification of the documents can be done, and digital identification of the end users will be happen. Paul Goodman have said that it is humanized almost every aspect of people's life. American College says that we have to become a people unable to comprehend the technology we invent. This is what we have to be talk on the negative side. So technology is fun, but we can join in our technology. And the fog of information can drive out our knowledge. So there's so much information is available, and then you come to the very negative parameters. And information validation is coming to the problem. Edurate, it means negativity, or we can say that the questions we have to take on the implementation of the digital economy parameters. Information is going to be manipulated somewhere if the proper security not provided. Data security is important. The negativity of the digital economy is that there is a crime can be happen, funds can be transferred and can be used for terrorism support, and that is why the cryptocurrency is in the question mark. Complexity will be involved in that. Privacy to be concerned. We have to look toward the privacy maintenance, and people are socially getting the disconnect in year term. This is one of the very important negativity. Another negativity, work will be overloaded after the office hours also, on the holiday also. There may be some SMS, email, WhatsApp, or certain electronic messages being put you into working level. Digital media manipulation is being done to get some personal benefit by a particular group of person or the person. They pass on the wrong information. Job insecurity is very importantly happen when the person is taking the name from the office by taking some argument, and then on the social media the another same moment another information is being available. Job insecurity is fine because if the people is not keeping the pace with the change in the technology, and that their job is coming. Plagiarism is a major problem is happening. Anonymity and the fake people. Certain people are creating fake account on the Facebook, Instagram, and they manipulate it and use it for the non-social, non-ethical activities. And people are having the over-reliance on gadgets. Data, media, photographs, everything have been stored in all different gadgets they have, so that they are not in a position to retrieve the data at a particular point of time. Or if some of the gadgets are being stolen or something have been happened, data, photographs get misused by them. People are coming to the addiction. Depersonalized Wi-Fi have been happened. Like we know that one particular company can use the drone with a specific intention to enter into the another country boundary, cross the line of control, do some drone-based attack. So that is the depersonalized. Without person, the Wi-Fi can be happen. I already said organization and storage of the information. You require so many documents with you to do it. Longevity. Now on e-gadgets are losing the longevity. We don't know after some time how much cloud computing cloud is going to be capable to store the data from across the globe. And social annihilation will be done. So depersonalized warfare, Max Switch and Homo Faber have very nicely created and said in the 1957 that technology is the neck of so arranging the world that we don't have to experience it. So what's going to happen? Diurnal sky, remote dawn, everything. Loneliness and the lack of human contact. There is a people are being in the contact, they can say that they have 5,000 friends on the Facebook. But in real terms, there may be one or two. So with our flesh and blood persons have become increasingly common. So loneliness being increasing, and that is entered into somewhere. The level of the suicide, depression, etc. are also being increased. I hope that this has made my point very clear that whenever the developing countries are trying to be introduce the parameters, what they should do and what are the care have been taken. I've taken some parameters on a general global base, and 2-3 parameters I specifically talked that how India have achieved it in the last 5 to 6 years time. Thank you very much, friends. Any question? Anyone who want, they can contact me to have the further arguments, because I am basically the finance man, but my more area is of a socio-economics, and that is the way I have been involved. Thank you very much to the organizer teams to provide me the opportunity, and I hope that I have not taken more time for you. You have given me up to the same time, so I have actually taken your 6-7 minutes more. Thank you very much, friends. Yes, now organizer.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Dr. Paresh Shah, sir, for presentation on digital economy for developing countries. Was really wonderful and explanatory one. Thanks a lot for being with us as a keynote speaker. We wish you for the further association in our upcoming programs.
Thank you very much,
sir.
ma'am.
Now I would like to call Professor Dr. Yanina Lissum as a keynote speaker, Department of Journalism and Advertising, National University of Trade and Economics, Ukraine, Europe.
Thank you so much. Hello for everyone. Can I share my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Recording stopped.
Tell me what is on your screen.
Yes, I am trying to come out from my screen, madam.
Yes, sir. You may stop sharing the screen. So
how to do it? I am trying to manage it from my way.
Okay, sir. Ma'am, please come to the first slide.
Wait, I'm checking. I need to understand what is on our screen. Okay.
Yes, we can see a presentation.
Yes, it's mine. Yes. Just the same photo, like title of the conference.
Just open, тільки зробіть її на повний екран, показ.
А в мене як?
Запустить демонстрацию экрана, как бы показ слайдер.
Я поняла, сейчас. Зараз великий. На весь екран зараз.
Великий. Може попробуйте через показ слайдів автоматично.
Так я так і нажимаю.
Не дає, а через F5.
Сейчас я боюсь, щоб вообще мене не вирубило. Сейчас.
Через F5 йде, просто показ слайдів.
А зараз великий, ні? Маленький?
Немає взагалі. А вас починається ваша презентація з цього текстурного слайду, так?
Да, з великого.
Було, да. А ну, ще раз.
Сейчас.
Yes. Click on resume slideshow.
Великий слайд.
Великий, да. Все, можна починати.
Come to first slide. Yes.
Yes, everything is fine.
Recording in progress.
Thank you so much for everyone, for all our participants of this conference, and many thanks to National Research Culture Society for this opportunity to come together and organize and participate in this great conference, World Conference of Economic, Business and Agriculture Development. And today we have a lot of participants from Ukraine, different universities, and I would like to tell a little about some short information about my university, because my speech I will speak about also digital, like our previous speaker, professor from India. I have also the same topic of my presentation, especially my university name economic, trade and economic as our topic of our conference. I'm from the Department combination of journalism and advertising. Advertising, like main part
Kita
of
awas saja kok.
e-commerce and all.
Halo.
all
Ada. Berarti aja.
Recording stopped.